Good morning. The reading and ideas presented this morning are taken from a book by Wayne Muller called Sabbath, Restoring the Sacred Rhythm of Rest. Just a few short months ago, if you asked someone how they're doing, you probably would have heard something like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to finish all I've been asked to do." And I found this to be true whether it's somebody like a CEO from a major corporation, a social service agency, or everyday people like you and I. We say this to one another with no small degree of pride, as if our exhaustion were a trophy, our ability to withstand stress a mark of real character. The busier we are, the more important we seem to ourselves, and we imagine to others. To be unavailable to our family and friends, to be unable to find time for the sunset, or to even know that the sun has set at all, to whisk through our obligations without time for a single mindful breath. This has become the model of a successful life. Life is very different now. Often when I ask somebody, "How are you doing?" they say something like, "I'm bored." Many of us become so identified with our work or our business that when it's taken away, we lose our identity. Our culture invariably assumes that action and accomplishment are better than rest. Without our familiar schedules, we're forced to face our human beingness rather than our human doingness. We may find it difficult to make the shift from being a human doing to a human being. This period of safe distancing and home isolation can be viewed with disdain, or it can be seen as a blessing. Life requires of us a rhythm of rest, just as there is a rhythm in our waking activity and our body's need for sleep. That may be why in many religions of the world there is such an emphasis on practicing the Sabbath. Sabbath honors the necessary wisdom of dormancy. If certain plant species, for example, do not lie dormant for winter, they will not bear fruit in the spring. If this continues for more than a season, the plant begins to die. If dormancy continues to be prevented, the entire species will die. A period of rest in which nutrition and fertility most readily coalesces is not simply a human psychological convenience. It is a spiritual and biological necessity. A lack of dormancy produces confusion and erosion in the life force. We too must have a period in which we lie fallow and restore our souls. In Sabbath time, we remember to celebrate what is beautiful and sacred. We light candles, sing songs, tell stories, eat, nap, and make love. Within this sanctuary, we become available to the insights and blessings of deep mindfulness that arise only in stillness and time. In a complex and unstable world, if we do not rest, if we do not surrender into some kind of Sabbath, how can we find our way? How can we hear the voices that tell us the right thing to do? The Sabbath is not necessarily a day we set aside. In this strange new world in which we find ourselves, the Sabbath can be minutes, hours, days, weeks, in our case, maybe even months. And so I invite you to savor this period of Sabbath, in which we are presented with the opportunity to restore our sacred rhythm of rest. Stay home, stay safe. Namaste.